So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven? How do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. I'm especially excited for tonight's show because of the gentleman you are about to meet. His name is Jarin Jackson. He is an amazing young man, very established, very experienced, and he's still very young in my eyes. I'm kind of older than most when I have people on my show. He's an amazing guy. He's a family man. He's got a young toddler at home and a loving wife. And he's just a great guy. And he's also very, very brilliant, intelligent, and he has really taken off in his career. And I cannot wait to dig deep into his beautiful brain to see what it was that he did to reach the level he is at now. And he's just, the sky's the limit. He's going to keep going up. I know it. This is one of those people that has that it factor. And there are so many things that go with that, but I can't wait to bring him on. Jarin Jackson will be coming up very, very soon. In the meantime, the Mind, Body, Business Show, it is a show that I had developed with you in mind, with entrepreneurs, with small business owners. It's a show by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. And what I love, what I get to do is I bring on successful entrepreneurs from all over the world. And what happens is in our discussion is you, the viewer and the listener, you get to find out what it is that makes this individual so successful. And by just taking notes, and then when the show is over, taking action on those notes, learning what they do, and then mimicking, or what I like to say, modeling what their patterns of success are, then you can achieve success yourself far faster than if you were to do it with no instruction or no proof that anyone else had done it using the same approach. So this is a phenomenal platform. I love what I get to do because of that. This show I could easily charge money. I know, just because of doing this for 3 years and the amazing guests and the value they bring. And Jarin is going to do that as well tonight. I already know that. I just know. So that is what the show is all about. It's about what I call the 3 pillars of success. What happened was, real quickly, I began studying only successful people for a period of about a decade or so. And I just wanted to find out what were the things that made them more successful than, say, someone like me. I was just curious. What is it? And what I found was, time after time, these 3 things kept bubbling to the top that they all had in common. And 3 things, I call them the 3 pillars of success. It's like a tripod. If you were to kick away one leg of a tripod, what happens to the tripod? And more importantly, the camera or whatever expensive equipment you have on top, well, it comes tumbling down and crashing. And so similarly, with successful people, they have these 3 characteristics, and those are the 3 names, the 3 parts of this show, the very title of this show, mind being mindset. And what that means is each and every individual that I studied. Now, these include people I know personally, people that have mentored me, I've trained with. These include authors, speakers. These include some people that are no longer with us that are authors of books. It's a wide, varied net of people that were successful that I had studied. And mine, they had a very positive, to a person, very positive, yet more importantly, flexible mindset. And then body. To a person, each of these successful individuals took care of themselves. They took care of themselves by exercising regularly, and nutritionally, they took things into their body that were good for them. And then business. Business is so multifaceted. There are so many skill sets that one must master in order to develop and build and grow a very successful business. And these are skill sets like sales, marketing, team building, systematizing, leadership. I mean, I could go on and on. But here's the thing: to master one skill set, to master anything, can take a long time. I think it was on the order of 10,000 hours was kind of the the actual number they use to say this is when you become an expert or you've mastered something. The good news is you as a business owner, you don't have to master every single one of those skill sets I mentioned and the many more that are necessary. No, in fact, if you just mastered one of those, and I actually mentioned it by name, it was one of those in the list, you can use that to then bring in other folks who have mastered the skill sets of those areas you are not yet up to speed on. And you may never be. There are things that we are given talents for that we just are good at, and other things we are not good at. I'm no different. We're all the same. And that one skill set that I mentioned, that if you master it, it's kind of your ticket, your gateway to monumental success. And that is mastering the skill set of leadership. No, the screen didn't freeze. I was just doing a dramatic pause there. Leadership. Once you have mastered that skill set, now you can bring in people who have mastered skill sets. Let's say you have not yet mastered the skill set of being a great salesperson. You can master leadership, bring in a great salesperson and lead them in your business and get what you need out of their brilliance to help you, and do it as a partner and bring them in as part of your team. That's what the business part of this show is. And look, we may not touch on every one of these subjects during tonight's show. It kind of goes organically. Jarin is an amazing guy with incredible experience and intellect, and we may, who knows? But all I do is implore of you to stay on with him, because we got some great things I'm going to announce here very shortly. And to another point, that each and every one of these successful people I also found were very voracious readers of books. And with that, I like to segue into a quick segment I affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
There you see it, reachyourpeaklibrary.com. And for all of you either watching or listening, either way, I would implore of you to take out a notepad and a pen and take notes. And instead of clicking away and typing in these URLs and websites and resources, I know Jarin will have some as well, so that you can keep your gaze of attention here on the screen, because what I like to say is the magic happens in the room. And I would just hate it if you were to miss that one golden nugget that Jarin's about to bring. And because you were off clicking away and perusing another website, stay with us. I promise you it will be worth your while in more ways than one, not just what you're going to get from Jarin. We have some giveaways tonight, so stay with us and let's get into it. Reachyourpeaklibrary.com. That is a resource that I had built with you in mind. And I know that can sound a little cheesy. I mean it. What happened was I myself was not a voracious reader of books until about 10 years ago. At the age of 47, I'm approaching 57, not quite there at the time of this show. And I then learned about this new tool. It probably wasn't that new, but I became alert to it, called Audible. And then it hit me. I love listening. I don't particularly care to read physical words on a book, a screen, as much. I will do it, but for long periods of time, I really get tired and lose interest quick. So I began reading like crazy on Audible. And these are all a collection of all the books I've read since that time. In fact, they're not all of them. And these are only the ones that had profound impact on me, either personally or in business or both. And in fact, not even every book that meets those criteria is on this list. I need to update it, but there are plenty here to choose from. The whole purpose of this is just go to reachyourpeaklibrary.com, find the book that resonates with you. You don't need to sift through the whole list. There's no rhyme or reason to how they are listed here. They're not alphabetic. They're not by category. They're not by author. They were just added. And just find the first one, click on the button and acquire it. This is not a money-making website. That was not the purpose of it. In fact, this goes straight to Amazon when you click those buttons. And so just grab the next book, grab the type of book you want, whether it's physical or electronic through Kindle or Audible, and read it. And then when you're done, come back and get the next one and just watch, rinse, repeat. And who knows, we may get some great recommendations even from our guests like Jarin. We've gotten these nearly every single time on this show. And speaking of Jarin, you know, it's enough of Brian blabbing. I think it's time to bring him on. What do you say we do that? Yeah, I think so. Here we go.
It's time for the guest expert spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only. It is him, Jarin Jackson. Yeah. Welcome to the show, Jarin. How are you doing, my friend?
Couldn't be better. I'm doing amazing. How are you, Brian?
I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. You booked this quite some time ago, I recall, this date to be on the show. And so everyone knows Jarin was actually part of my team and my company at Reach Your Peak. And he was one of the shining stars. And what I'm so happy for is that he grew out of that quickly and found a niche and a position in a company, a big, very high position. We'll get into that. And now is crushing it. And I'm so excited for you, Jarin. I'm proud of you. Just everything. I cannot wait to learn about how you got there. What was your mindset during all of this? What were the incidents that led you to this position? All of that. And not for me. I want others to listen to you and say, oh, either, oh, yeah, I can do that, or, oh, that was interesting and different. Maybe I should try that approach to success, those kind of things. So can't wait. Before we do that, real quick, Jarin, I'm going to introduce you properly and formally, you know, because you deserve it. Before we do that, for those of you watching us live right now, you can win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. Compliments of, you see the big red symbol up there? That is the biginsidersecrets.com. They are the company that sponsors our show and allows us to give away one of these phenomenal vacation stays each and every show. The biginsidersecrets.com by Jason Nast and Company. Amazing, amazing company. And a couple more, and then we'll get to Jarin Jackson. Here we go. All right. So if you're struggling with putting a live show together and it's overwhelming and you want a lot of the processes done for you while still enabling you to put on a high quality show and connect with great people like Jarin Jackson and grow your business all at the same time, then head on over to carpetbombmarketing.com. Carpet Bomb Marketing, saturate the marketplace with your message. And one of the key components that is contained in the Carpet Bomb Marketing system, it's one that you'll learn how to absolutely master. And it's the very service we use to stream our live shows right here and right now, as a matter of fact, on the Mind Body Business Show. So over the course of, it's been over 9 years, I've tried so many of these quote unquote TV studio solutions for live streaming. And StreamYard, I'm here to tell you, is the best of the best. It combines supreme ease of use along with unmatched functionality. You can actually stream right now free. So write this down, ryp.im/streamlive, ryp.im/streamlive, and start streaming high quality, professional looking live shows right away. But not until after the show, of course. All right, we're going to bring back the man of the hour. That's right. It is Jarin Jackson. And now we're going to give him the introduction he deserves. Agency owners and coaches hired Jarin to stand out in the noise of social media to attract a stream of quality clients because many are frustrated with rising ad costs or an efficient organic strategy. Who can relate to that? Oh my. So he helps agency owners and coaches gain credibility by standing out from the crowd. Very important. Bottom line, he helps you get featured by major publications and turn that publicity into leads with free products that sell your services for you. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Jarin Jackson on the show, officially, formally, right here with you now. This is going to be fun, Jarin. I'm excited.
Me too, man. Let's go.
Let's do it. Now, you hail from what country?
I am a Canadian, true and blue.
I love it. So, like I said, from all over the world, we've interviewed folks from, everywhere. Italy, France, all over the place. And that's what I love about this whole interface and technology that we have. We can talk across continents. It's amazing. And for you, Jarin, I want to jump in now and start learning about you as an individual. And you rose you rose fast and you rose quick, and now you're in a position where you are a partner, an actual bona fide partner of another company, correct?
That is correct.
And so what I wanted to find out first, before we go into the details of that, there's something going on with you that made that actually capable of happening. And that happens to be what's going on between those beautiful ears of yours in that noggin, that big, beautiful brain of yours. I'm curious, like when you get up in the morning, you've got all this stuff going on. You've got a wife, you've got a young toddler, and you've got a thriving business. And so you have a lot on your plate. So when you get up in the morning and you're getting ready to start your day to crush it again in your business, what is going on in your brain that's keeping you motivated, keeping you positive? You are one of the most incredibly positive people I've met in a long time. In our time together, I learned that. So what is it that's going on in that big, beautiful brain of yours that keeps you going forward, knowing about all those arduous tasks and these things that you're dealing with at home that you're going to keep dealing with throughout the day, week in and week out? What's going on in that brain of yours to keep you going and motivate you?
Well, there's so much to unpack there, but to start with the motivation part, really seeing my wife smile is like the best. Whatever I need to do to see her smile, I'll do it. I love it. And then step 2 is I have a 13-month-old son, and his smile is the second best. And so whatever I can do to help those two people smile and to spend more time with them, and that's what motivates me. That's what gets me through the hard times. And then also, like Brian said, I'm a unsquashable optimistic. You cannot hold me down. There is not a thing that I can't punch through. And I love seeing clients win. So I know no matter how hard it is today, if I do the right things, I can help people win and become the best versions of themselves.
And yeah, unstoppable optimism. That is a great way of describing what I experienced of you when you were with my team. And I mean, there were some things that you went through when you were working with us that would have caused different reactions on most human beings on the planet. And you were just like, okay. I'm like, what? This guy's awesome. I love this guy. It's just like water up a duck's back. And not only that, it was like, oh, good. I like a challenge. It was always turning it around from what normal people would create a negative from. You instantly found a positive and concentrated and focused on that. And I'm convinced that is why you are where you are today in a good way. And so you ended up becoming a partner of a company. Can you tell us a little bit about how that transpired? How did you meet? And then what were the things that happened that ultimately got you an offer to become a partner of someone else's existing business?
So it's a really cool story. Like Brian said, when all this transpired, I had a bajillion responsibilities on my plate. One of them, raising a newborn. Anyone that's a parent, I salute you. You're doing a great job. Another thing that really helped is I was just perusing. I was expanding my network. I was browsing through Facebook. Now, most people, when they go on Facebook, they go there to relax. Not me. I go there to have fun and to network, to meet cool people. And so as I was going through this, I saw a post from someone in my network that was like, hey, I'm hiring for this position. Here's the requirements. We're going to have a webinar or Zoom call about it. And why don't you show up? Now, one of the requirements was to be based in the United States. And I'm Canadian. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to apply anyways. There's not that much difference between us. We can make it work. So I went in there, I applied, and I'll be frank with you. There were a lot of people in that room that I felt were way more qualified for the job. But here's the funny thing. During the interview process, I was like the only guy that asked Luke how he was doing. I asked how his business is doing. And I was like, dude, you're the guy with the lightsaber on your profile. That's so cool. I love Star Wars. And so one of my superpowers, I guess, was being genuine with people and finding ways to connect with them and relate. And that shone through. So I got hired, and that was awesome. And we were transitioning offers at that moment. And if you've ever transitioned offers, sometimes there's up, sometimes there's down. It's not always you switch business models and everything works exactly the same the day after, unfortunately. But we learned a lot. And I don't know, I just stuck through it. I saw positive opportunities everywhere I looked. And that's the high level overview of what happened.
So there's a huge lesson for everyone watching and listening right there. And this is like just marketing 101 that a lot of people don't seem to grasp right away, especially like on websites. You go to a website, it's all about them and their products. It's me, 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 me. There's no what's in it for you. There's no, I shouldn't say no, but there's not enough attention given to the viewer. Like, well, why would I spend any more time reading or listening to this video or whatever you have on your site if it's just going to be, hey, come look at our products because our features are the best and our benefits are the best, but it has nothing to do with you. And that's what differentiated you. You just said it was because you asked about him. You know, how are you doing? How's your business doing? And that's huge. It's gotten to the point now where I talk to people now where I've never met them before. We're just having a get to know each other call. I did 2 of them earlier today, and I just start asking them about their business, just like you did, Jarin. And I, not just to ask, but genuinely be interested and be ready to provide resources to help them at no profit to myself, just to help. And it was interesting. And then I would just kind of gauge the conversation and see, well, is there going to be any reciprocity? Are they going to come back and ask me about mine? And that will tell me a little bit about them as well, which it's not a bad thing if they don't. I get to know people. I love people. But it's an interesting thing. I can see how that transpired for you that made you stand out. That's the beautiful thing. Other people might have been more qualified, like with everything they've done in their life and more experience. And that's the thing. It's not always that is the most important. It is really what is under the hood, what's going on up here in that noggin. What's your attitude like? When I was bringing people onto my team, which you ended up being part of some time ago, I learned really fast. It's not about the skill set that people had. It's not about their chops and their experience and knowledge. It's about their attitude, their drive, everything, all the intangibles. And so I appreciate you bringing that up, that you said that was it. I mean, that's what the guy said. You're the guy. And then now he's like, lightsaber, that's cool. That's neat. You had stuff in common there as well. And so you guys have transitioned. You're doing a whole different business model. And the other part is great that you told people, look, it's not just change it and then you're good to go. Just sit back on autopilot. A lot of moving parts. And I just love this. I'm so happy for you. And I got to get off of that and get into the good questions here because I'm just excited. I'm so happy for you, Jarin. You're such a great guy. You have, amazing family, and everything you have going is just awesome. Back to the books. I talked about the importance of reading books, and it's not just about reading any books. It's about reading the right books. And I was just curious if you would characterize yourself also as an avid reader, and if so, what kind of books are you into reading?
Yes, I'm an unstoppable learner. And as for books, I'm into all sorts of books. I used to read, I still read for pleasure. It's just the pleasure has shifted to more things that I can use to improve my life and the life of those around me. I still enjoy fantasy. I always will. But one book in particular that I've been reading is called The Wealthy Gardener by John Saforich. And it's so interesting because there's so many lessons you can learn from being a farmer and tending to the land that expand into business and in life and relationships. For instance, you learn about seasons. There's seasons to plant and there's seasons to harvest. And then you learn about patience. If you plant a seed, whether it's a business or an investment, you nurture that seed, but you don't dig it up every day to check to see if it's sprouted. That would actually kill it. You need to give it the time for it to grow. So that's a long answer to your question, but I love to learn and read.
Oh man, not a long answer at all. I was waiting for more. The author named John, what was the last name again?
Soforic. So Soforic.
Got it. So the Wealthy Gardener, and I just want to point this out for anybody watching or listening, or everybody watching or listening, is that when you get when someone that is successful like Jarin talks about a book and recommends it or speaks highly of it, my advice to everyone out there is to write that down. So again, it's the Wealthy Gardener by John Soforic, if that's how you say his last name. And I'm sure the Wealthy Gardener will come up with John something, you'll find it. And what I do personally, and this is like right after the show's over, I go over my notes, I find the books, and I go to Audible and I add them to my library right then and there. And that way I never forget. They're there. I don't even know where some of them come from. I would go back to my notes, but I don't need to because they came from a recommendation. They're not in my library unless, personally, they've been either vetted by somebody I know or that's been on the show or that I found through other means. But anyway, fantastic. So I recommend everyone do that. Go ahead and add that to your library, whatever that your form of reading you like. Go to Amazon, buy it, whatever it takes. Oh my goodness. So if we were to look at just from a business aspect only, aside from the book you just mentioned, if you can think of it, what would be the one that really you came to my team with already a lot of skills and talents that kind of shocked me in a good way. And I'm curious, were there books that helped you to get to that point, or maybe one that stands out that said, this was what I've been looking for, it finally took me to the next level? Anything like that come to mind that you've read?
I want to say I've read libraries, but I can think of two that were really helpful. One from a skill standpoint was The Ultimate Sales Letter by Chet Holmes. That's a really good book. If only I need to send you my Kindle library. It's got so much gold in it. I love it. But one that really helped me from a business standpoint was called Fix This Next by Mike Michalowicz. I don't know how to spell his last name, but he's the same guy that wrote Profit First. And I actually liked this book even more than Profit First. Now, I'm a numbers guy, which is weird because I dislike Excel, but I love business numbers. I love making money, and I love helping people make money. But Fix This Next really helped me think about business sequentially and solving the right problems at the right time. For instance, a lot of people go into sales mode. I need more sales. I need more volume. But sometimes that's not always what's going to solve your problem. If you have no profit margins, more sales is going to drive you into the ground faster. But the base floor is you need to have sales to have profit. So there's a balance, and it really helps me step out from working in the business to starting to work on the business and being like, okay, where are we going to be 6 months from now? And how can we start preparing and designing our way to get there?
Yeah. And that's so refreshing to hear this. So many people will just come up with an idea, think everyone's going to buy it, pick a price point, not do any kind of analysis to see the big picture. And then most of those would just hear crickets because the idea was only exciting to them and they find it's no one else. So market research would go into that as well to find out and make sure that there are people that want your product. But yeah, the profit margin, that's a good point, to make sure that, because look, when you have a real business going and you're hiring people, you're bringing on whatever it happens to be, VAs, employees. You have services that you're paying for, ongoing like CRM and all of these. These are money. This is all money coming out of your account. And if you're not making a profit because of the sales and they're not keeping up, you're just going to be bleeding. And like any organism, you will bleed out and the business will die. And so that was kind of a horrific metaphor, wasn't it? That wasn't too fun, but it's true. It's true. And so I love that. That's a different take. So 2 more books, everybody. Did you hear that? So it was The Ultimate Sales Letter. I've actually heard of that with Chet Holmes. And then Fix This Next by Mike. I don't know what you said. Michael Witz.
Sure.
Something like that. My book title, typically you can find them, especially if you know at least one of the 2 names. So go check that out. Maybe we can convince Jarin to share his book library, not like electronically, but just the title somehow, screenshot something. That'd be awesome down the road. Because here's the thing I didn't learn for a long time, Jarin, that I did not realize how impactful books could be in my life. In fact, my gosh, way more than 10 years ago, I was in a corner office of a multimillionaire. He was in the media industry. He was the CEO. And I was having a meeting. We were actually signing a very lucrative contract. It was exciting times. But at one point, I'm sitting he had a couch in his office. I'm sitting in his couch. It was a big office. And he's standing talking to me. And he said, if people only did this one thing, if they just did this one thing, they'd all be rich. I'm like, wow, this is a good buildup. And so he turned away from me and he started walking the exact opposite direction. It wasn't too far. And on the other side of the wall, on the other side, there was this cabinet, floor to ceiling, 2 doors. And so he proceeded to go back. He opened up both doors. If they just do this one thing, and he opened them up, and can you guess what was in there? It was shelf after shelf after shelf of books. And you know what the sad part of that story is, Jarin? In my head, I discounted it. I said, no way is that what got you where you are. There's no skin in the game. I can go to the library and check those. I don't even have to buy them. How can that lead to success? I was a dumb dude back then. And then luckily, many years later, a mentor of mine, I watched as I was hanging out with him at his place. We were working and playing. We were having a good time. And I saw him walking around. He walked around often with these headphones on. I just got his attention. It's like, what are you listening to all the time? He goes, oh, it's Audible. I said, what's that? Oh, they're books. I said, what? And that was it. That was the turning point, because I didn't know yet until I actually did listen to my first one. I'm like, oh, baby. And that was it. That was the beginning of the rest of reading like a madman and loving it. And so what Jarin is doing, notice he's achieved success very early in life. If you were to compare to most people. And one of the key ingredients was he's an avid and voracious reader. And he's reading books by other people who have solved problems, who have solved pain points, who have solved, look, could he do it all by himself with no help whatsoever? Probably. But he would still be 10 years away from achieving success at the level he is right now if he did that. So Jarin realized at an early age to get rid of the ego. That's one thing I know he does not have a big one of, is ego. Working with him, the easiest going guy, I know that you have to have negative emotions sometimes, Jarin. They got to be there. But I never saw them, not once. And that was a testimony to you and what you've done, whatever work you've put in. Have you put in any kind of work specifically to develop that positive mental attitude that you have?
I think it's always been a conscious choice. A lot of it's just my nature. Growing up, I had some difficult opportunities, we'll call them, to persevere. And I really learned that there's 2 sides to every coin, and one of the ways empowers you and the other one limits you. And so I chose to look on the bright side and to do things that would help me feel better and help others feel better, instead of focusing on my own pain or sorrow at that time. And I don't know, it's just like building a brick wall, brick by brick. It's not so much one pivotal moment that built that wall. It's the little things you do day by day, moment by moment.
I got to tell you, that's one of those moments, you know what's coming. It's bombs of wisdom, knowledge bombs, smart bombs. That is Jarin Jackson. Because look, I say this often, and I know you've heard this before, Jarin. You can either let your circumstances control your attitude, or you can let your attitude dictate your circumstances. We all have a choice. It is ours alone to make personally. Where you are today, your level of success or lack thereof is no one else's fault. And and if you're successful, that's a good thing, right? To say that's your fault. It's all about what's going up here. What is going on up here and up there on his? And you can see the pattern to success that Jarin has exhibited already is that he has used that approach to, think of the ways and control his destiny by, we all have crap that happens during our lives. All of us do. It's all about how you react to it. Hello, Eliza. How are you doing? She was also on our team some time ago. Yes, so good to have you here. And I love that bomb, she says. That's awesome. Oh, and I don't know what you were talking about. Maybe you remember, but Alvina Stark said, what were some of those little things, Jarin? Do you remember what that was referring to? That was a while ago. I wasn't really monitoring.
So some of the little things that helped me be positive, I can go based on that, I guess. Okay. So one of them is every time I find a obstacle, I reword it as a challenge or an opportunity. It's something to overcome. What did I do to help those?
Elaborating. Yes.
Gotcha. So yeah. And then another really cool thing is most people, this sounds so judgmental, but it's the truth. Most people are focused on what's happening now, what's happening in the next 5 minutes. But few people are thinking what's going to happen in the next 10, 20, 30 years. And so if you can zoom out when you're going through a hard thing, you can be like, you know what? I bet this was probably in my life for a reason. And it's probably going to make me a stronger, more capable person. And I'm probably going to be able to better serve my family, my company, my customers because of this thing. So I bet there's a lesson to be learned here. And yes, it will be tough going through some of those things, but you can know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to look for it and then go get it.
I hear some jet engines off in the distance somewhere. Oh, here we go. Yes. Oh, fantastic. That is deep. You are wise beyond your years because, a lot of people don't think about, well, this is here for a purpose. I am being taught something here. And it all comes to like, how many times I've asked a question, Jarin, of other people who have been on this show, other successful entrepreneurs. I'd ask them, what have been some of your failures? And they would, most of them, reframe it. I don't think of them as failures. I think of them as learning opportunities. I'm like, there is, look, the differentiation between successful people and those who are not successful, I have found time and time and time again. That's why it's the first word of this show is what is going on up in your mind. And one of the ways to alter that is Jarin has just been telling you all night is to read books, to read those books those will help also change your mindset. Because when you're reading those books from successful people, do you think they might have a successful mindset that went with that as they're authoring? And that will bleed through the words as you're reading them. And you'll just, the more you associate with successful people, the more likely you will become successful. It's like, what is it? I don't know the numbers, the average 7 most people you hang out with or something. I forget the whole quote, but I think people have heard that and get it. So yeah, bombs of knowledge. And here's the thing. A lot of people think it's all about skills, turn the crank, Jarin. How do I determine the best way to do copywriting? How do I get to be the best marketer on the planet? And it's often the skills are the last thing that we should be concentrating on. It is the attitude. It is the positive thinking, because no matter what skill set is in front of you that you're trying to master, when you do hit those moments where you're kind of knocked backward, it's that attitude that's going to keep you going forward and push through it. What do you think about that?
Very true. Very true. I think focusing on the why before the how will allow you to get so much further.
Yes, and Eliza agrees. Thank you, Eliza. Being successful, I believe, depends on one's mindset. Eliza, drop in there real quick where you're coming from. I know you're not from close by, so tell us where you're from. Ooh, and I hope I'm saying your name right. It's either Elvina or Alvina Stark. She says, I like that. Zoom out. That was also very profound, Jarin. Look, see, you're having an impact on people's lives just by showing up. And that's what Jarin does. He talks about, that's what their company does, is gets you the exposure that you need for your business to thrive. So if we could real quick, Jarin, pivot a little bit to, I know you don't want to talk about this, but to your business. That's what everyone's passion is. I love talking about the business. And I want to learn from you, Jarin, what you guys do specifically for your clients. And those clients, it's a two-part question. Where do they come? What is their, where are they in their business? What is your ideal client? What do they consist of? So who is your ideal client? And then what are the kinds of services you do to help them crush it in business?
For sure. I love that question. Obviously, you're not in business very long if you don't love what you do. And we love what we do at LG Solutions, and it's awesome. So what we do is we help agencies and coaches get more visibility for their business by helping them develop entertaining social proof and getting featured on podcasts and news outlets so that you can expand your customer base while working with better quality clients. We don't help you get a stock full calendar of people that aren't your ideal client. We help you learn to filter and take maybe less calls, but the calls that you hop on with are people that are going to be a closer fit to what you want to serve. And it's awesome. And we help agencies and coaches starting around 6 figures. And that is who we serve. And we love it.
And I love it that you guys are doing this for folks. And we're going to give you a great resource. Jarin is actually here in just a moment about how you can get in touch with them and learn from them in this resource they make available that's open. Is it private or public?
It's public.
Public. So you'll be able to access it. And I'll let Jarin talk about what's inside, because it's pretty remarkable that it's part of the gift that he's going to be giving toward the end of the show. And thank you, Alvina, for letting me know that's how to say your name. I appreciate that. That was a comment that came in. And also Eliza, she is from the Philippines, watching us live. Pretty amazing. And she's an amazing young woman. She's gone through a lot herself. She has kids of her own. Skills are learned. Attitude is really essential. Absolutely. Could not agree more. I love it. She's given us more information. I don't know how to pronounce any of these, but Tagaytay, a tourist spot here in the Philippines. My wife would know. She's big in the travel industry as well. So thank you, Eliza, for coming on, for interacting. That's what we love. We love to have people interact. If you have a question specifically for Jarin, please, by all means, drop it in. And if it's something that matches and it's of integrity, which I know the both of you that I've been seeing comment, Alvina and Eliza so far, you are definitely in that boat. So I appreciate that. And keep them coming. Oh, my goodness. I'm having too much fun, Jarin. Oh, my. I just checked the time. It can't be already. But we're not there yet. We still have a few minutes before we then announce these wonderful gifts to give people. And I can't wait for that. So stick to the end. If you're watching live, remember a 5-night stay, vacation stay at a 5-star, a lot of 5s here, luxury resort And again, that's compliments of my pal Jason Nest and the Big Insider Secrets. That's that red logo you see if you're watching this live. And by the way, real quick, if you're enjoying this and you love the value coming from this show, this is free and always will be. But if you'd like to learn or find out and get automated notifications, reminders that we're going live right before we go live, then head on over to the Mind Body Business Show. You got to put the in front and the show at the end, themindbodybusinessshow.com. And you'll see at the very bottom is a little form. You just register there. All we do is remind you of shows. We don't try to sell you anything. It's just you get a reminder once a week at a minimum, maybe twice a week on a rare occasion. Like next week, we're doing 2 shows. But that way you can always be apprised of when we're going live and never miss an amazing individual like this guy here. You know his name. It's Jarin Jackson. Just for those of you that may not understand me, I'm going to put it up on the screen so you can read it. So, all right. So I also opened the show by talking about skill sets that were necessary to, develop, build, maintain, grow, and everything, a thriving, successful business, the key being successful. And this will put you on the spot a little bit, Jarin, but I know you're up for it. If you can think of, and it'll make it a little easier, what is working for you now, what you would claim, from what's working for you, what are 3 skill sets that were absolutely necessary to have in order for you to be where you are now? What's working right now, and what are the skill sets, 3 of them, if you can think of 3 of them, that you honed in that helped you to get you where you are now and keep going and thriving?
That is an amazing question. If you listen to this show often like I do, I like to take notes about the skills, even though we know it's about the attitude. The attitude's more important, but the skills can expedite you on your journey as well, 100%. So the first skill that I think is the biggest key to success is to leave your ego at the door. Just be humble. I mean, the minute you think you know everything or you cannot improve, that's when you start dying. That's when you start losing. You can always learn something from anybody. I can learn lessons from someone that is, in my terms, unsuccessful financially, but they have a thriving family. You can learn from anybody. And that's honestly, I think that's the biggest one. If you are willing to learn, there is nothing that can't stop you. Lesson or skill number 2, as our man Brian mentioned on the show, I think that's leadership. I think there is not a thing in the world you cannot accomplish if you are a humble leader. And leadership starts by being able to lead yourself. You need to be able to have discipline and be someone that inspires others to action. I love that. Those are 2 huge skills, man. If you can learn those 2, you're ahead of the pack. And then the third one is the one that seals the deal for me. And it's this concept of until. And if you had to put a name on it, I guess you would call it tenacity or adaptability. But far too many people think, oh, I tried X, Y, and Z, and I didn't get what I want. That doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. You go until you get what you want because you have a reason why to do it.
That was it. That was it right there. I'm telling you. You go until that is just awesome because so many people think if I fill in the widgets 1, 2, and 3, I should have success. And if I don't, well, something's wrong and I'm going to quit. And wow, it could not be farther from the truth. Thank you for that, Jarin. That is like so wise because people quit way too soon. Here's a great example, if I may, real quick. Lewis Howes, he's a phenomenal entrepreneur, former professional football player, quarterback. and he's a very successful entrepreneur. He was asked on stage this question by the interviewer. And he said, Lewis, if someone came to you, this is just an example. If somebody came to you and said, I want to start a podcast, they hadn't started one yet, what would your advice be to them? He said, well, I'll tell them two things. One is to commit to being consistent. If you're going to do it, in other words, say, if you're going to post if you're going to drop a show or a interview on a podcast platform on, say, a Monday, then do it every single Monday without fail. Do not miss a single one. Be consistent. If you do it twice a week, same rule applies. He said, but the more important thing is the second one, and that is, if you're not willing, get this one. This one's great. This hits the until button hard. If you are not willing to do this and commit to it for a full 2 years, no matter what, then don't even bother starting. I was like, boom, another bomb was dropping. And that was a perfect example, because 2 years is like a lifetime to many people. We have this instant gratification society, right? Fast food, instant, like we got people dropping our groceries off to our doorstep now. It's like, Amazon is shipping before we finish hitting the order button. It's like amazing. And so people expect their success to come that quick as well. And that's the thing. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Are there ways to make it quicker? Yes. That's why we're talking to Jarin Jackson right now. This you're looking at, you're watching, you're listening to one of the solutions to get yourself to success faster. And that is because Jarin has done it. Why not model someone? Why not copy what he's doing instead of trying to do it on our own? I've been there. I'm sure Jarin had been there at some point where we're trying to do it on our own and then realize, wait, I can get help. And if I just put my ego to the side and allow for that help to happen, you're saying what would take 10 years, I can get done maybe in 3? Yeah, I didn't say 3 months, years still, but much faster. Why not? So you said something about it's the why is the important thing, not the, what was it, the how or the what? Here's another one that I learned at a deep level, and it goes along with this whole ego thing. And that is also to take it a step farther and say, well, even rather than that, take it another. The why is very, very important, by the way. Why you have to have a strong why is instead of the what or the how, I'm not including why. A lot of people try to think about what do I need to do in my business and how am I going to get it done? Well, instead of concentrating on those two, what about the who? Who can I bring into my world to collaborate with, to work with, to help each other? There goes the ego. You cannot have ego and have that work, period. Because ego is all about you, yourself. We got some more comments coming in. Let's see what we got. Yes. Yes, Alvina, don't give up. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Humility takes us a long road. Leadership is attained by being a good follower of your own. Yeah. What was a book I read? It was, I think it was called Leaders Eat Last, something to that effect. That was really good. Consistency is a must. You're nodding emphatically. You must have read it too, since you have the whole library in your Kindle. Sounds like, Jarin. So, yeah, and these are great, phenomenal books. I even have right on my desktop. This one's called Thought Conditioners by Norman Vincent Peale. So if you want to talk about the positive mindset that Jarin's talking about, this is a great thing. You just read one page when you start your day, and you just let it digest in your mind. It's a wonderful, wonderful. Woo, I'm having too much fun. 5 minutes. Come on now. All right. So I got to ask this one question before the final question. So we got a couple more to go. The most important question, or the most important aspect of any business, either making it or not, in my humble opinion, is whether or not they are able to successfully market their business. Marketing. Too often, even during this time of pandemic and COVID, companies, they were starting to cut departments as things were getting tough and tight. Well, many were doing what I would say are the wrong cuts, and they were cutting their marketing department. That's like cutting off your own arm. You're done. It's over if you cut off your marketing department. So things change all the time, Jarin. What worked 10 years ago in marketing may not work today, and what works today probably won't work in 10 years from now. But today is what's important. And for you and your business and your partnership, What are you guys doing right now that is working for you, specifically with marketing your business? If you can peel away the onion right now to date, what has been your absolute most successful form of marketing?
Without a doubt, our most successful marketing has been posting entertaining social proof daily. And that's so powerful because that's what we help clients do as well. But people on social media, they want to see wins. Everybody wants to see wins. We love to see other people win. At least the people you want to work with love to see people win. I know Brian has a heart of gold. Everyone he meets, he wants to see crush it. And I love that. And so if you can find a way to post every little win that you do and that what your clients do in a way that's entertaining and engaging, man, you'll crush it so fast, so hard. But you still have to zoom out. It's not like an instant solution. It's the seed that you plant today and you water every day. You commit to being consistent, and it works wonders if given the time and you nurture it. It's amazing.
You're doing it again. You know what you just did. Yep, we called in the bomb squad. Here they come. Yes, another bombing run because of Jarin Jackson. Yeah, it's I love the analogy and the metaphor of planting the seed. And then that's the thing. What people do is they plant lots of seeds. They forget to water it, and that it's the consistency, it's the repetition, it's the drive, it's the determination, but it's never ending, never give up attitude that will get you to the finish line. And the cool thing is, Jarin, in my humble opinion, there is no such thing as a finish line. Never finished. It's just what's the next goal, the higher goal. What if it existed? What if there was a ceiling, Jarin, and you got to that point, and let's say you're still not even 40 years old yet, and you've hit the top, you can't go any farther. No amount of creativity can take you any higher. Would that be kind of a boring existence in your mind?
Yeah. 100%. Growth is life.
Ooh, man, I'm going to wear out this bomb button, but I'm going to hold off on that one. That was a good one. Growth is life. It's true. And that's what makes entrepreneurs entrepreneurs. We love growth. We love change. We love risk. We love the whole gamut, going through the emotions, the ups and downs, the choosing of the attitude. Everything about it is it's just life. It's fun. It's invigorating. I don't know. I enjoy it all. So I have one final question to part with, and we're not done yet. I haven't forgotten. We're going to give away that wonderful vacation stay. But this one question, which you may know what it is because you worked with me for such time, but it's so profound and so just interesting because all of my past guest experts that have come on the show, like yourself, they seem to not have the same answer for the same question. I'm not asking a different question, but the answers are all over the place. And I'm like, I got something here with this question. It's not like I invented the question. It's just, this is really cool and very interesting and intriguing. And so we're going to get to that question right after we tell everybody what I had promised. There's two things. First, we're going to show you how you can win that 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort, compliments of the Big Insider Secrets. And then a little birdie told me that this guy has an amazing gift for you, and we're going to share that with you as well. So let's get into that part, and then don't go anywhere because this question you're gonna fall out of your chair when you hear Jarin's answer. I just know it. So let's get to the giveaway. So in the beginning, I was saying, keep your gaze here, pay attention, take notes. Look, I'm running the show. I'm director, producer. Somewhat. Oh, it messed with me there. It changed the page, but I've got an entire page of notes myself as I'm running this show. This is all from tonight. I'm not kidding. And so go ahead. You can put that down for the moment, and you bring up your phone, your tablet, your desktop, whatever, and you'll want to go to a certain website to enter to win. And here it is. I'll put it on the screen. You'll want to go to ryp.im/vacation. That's a website. So ryp.im/vacation. vacation, and you'll just enter your information there, and you'll be entered to win that beautiful 5-night stay. And look, I just want to be very clear, bring back on the screen that this is not one of those things where they'll whisk you away to the basement and then, water drip torture you with a timeshare pitch or anything like that. It's not that. And how do I know that? The guy that owns the Big Insider Secrets, the one that is sponsoring this, has taken 3 trips using the very giveaway that we are offering you tonight 3 times. And every time he said it was amazing. It was just like you're another guest. There was nothing different about it other than the fact that you didn't have to pay for the room. You didn't have to pay for all the wonderful stuff. You just pay, I think it's resort taxes and fees and your travel to and from. But other than that, it's all taken care of. The biggest part of it's taken care of. So be sure to enter. And then we have an amazing giveaway here by Mr. Jarin Jackson. So I'm going to pull up a little thing. So go ahead and start telling folks about what it is you're offering them and the experience they're going to get as a result, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. So what we are offering is we have a couple people that have come through what you're about to get access to and take that information and apply it. And I'm not saying this will happen to you, but that one person made $100,000 in recurring revenue from a single Facebook post.
Whew.
Yeah. So that's huge.
And so what do they need to do to potentially have that same experience? I'll put it up on the screen for folks, but where will this take them?
Sure. So if you click the link in the description that's being displayed, that will take you to our public Facebook group where you will be able to get access to our live trainings and our PDF bundles. And you'll see a cool guy there with a lightsaber. He's my partner. He's Luke Guy. He's the owner of the business. And we just have a good time. We love GIFs over here. And don't take yourself too seriously, but take the information seriously, and it'll be a good time. You can also find us at lukeguy.com, and that's the good stuff.
And so what else, what is so great about getting into this group? I mean, you were saying something about the content that was in there, in addition to this gentleman who made one post, but what kind of things can they expect in there?
So you can learn so much. Like, we teach you how to hire a Jedi appointment setter that not only helps you set quality appointments for yourself, but they also help you get on podcasts. They are Jedis. I don't know if your fans have seen Star Wars, but stormtroopers and droids, that's often what people hire as appointment setters. And if you've seen the movies, their track record isn't so good. They don't hit much. But a Jedi has the Force, and the Jedi can kick butt. And a Jedi matches your personality, which is so key. And we also do funny videos all the time. We have a blast. But yesterday, actually, we broke down our entire sales process from A to Z, and it's insanely valuable. And that's the kind of content you can expect in that group.
And so just to be clear, breaking down their sales process that is proven, they could easily have charged probably multiple thousands of dollars for. And like you said earlier, actually it does show it's a private group. So you'll want to go there, and I don't know what questions are being asked when they go in there, but just mention that you saw Jarin on the Mind Body Business Show. If you're asked, I'm sure there's got to be some question in there for the moderator to allow you in. But there are over 1,100 members in there. So you're going to be in good company. They're there for a reason. They must be there for a reason, because something good is going on there. And so I appreciate you making that available to everyone here. And is there anything else, a little secret they might learn as they're going through the process of being in your group?
One of the secrets, I guess, is you'll learn to have fun on social media. You shared earlier, like, how does Jarin get through all these hard things? Like, in the beginning, you're like, Jarin has all these responsibilities. And you know what? As you said that, I was like, whatever. Like, I have fun. I love what I do. Sure, there might be one or two things that get old after like 6 hours, but I love what I do. And I like our sales process is fun. I love what we do. And so that's one of the things you can learn.
Well, fantastic. So there it is on the screen. Everyone head on over to ryp.im/sold before call. And if you want to just go to Facebook, you can search for sold before call. And you want to make sure you're searching on groups, not pages or profiles, but sold before call. It was a much shorter URL to put in this link shortener, ryp.im/sold before call. And what I'm going to do is put that in the chat so you guys can just click on it. There it goes. It's heading out to all the wonderful social media platforms. Look, we're live on Facebook, on multiple pages, on a group as well, in YouTube, on Periscope, which unfortunately is soon to go away, but it will stay alive on the Twitter. Yeah, tears. And we just opened up another platform literally today that we're also streaming live on that I just told Jarin about, and he's not even aware of it actually because I didn't tell him about the live part. But always looking to get more exposure for people, amazing people like Jarin. And guess what? We haven't asked that one question yet, have we? I know some of you are waiting for it. So go ahead, be sure to go to ryp.im/sold before call and just ask to request to join and become one of the 1,100 members and growing. And there you can hang out and chit chat with Jarin because he's a nice guy. Look at him. I mean, you've heard him all night. He's an amazing guy. And so what we want to do is get to that question, that one defining question. I know we went over a little bit. I appreciate for hanging on there longer, Jarin, with me, and everyone who's watching. Appreciate that as well and listening. Let's see, a little bit of cleanup. So are you ready for the big question, Jarin? I know what you're going to say already, but are you ready?
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Well, you surprised me with that answer. That's good. All right. Okay, here we go. Well, all right. Before we ask the question, I think you already know this based on being with us, but the beautiful thing about this question is there is no such thing as a wrong answer. I just want to kind of set the table, remind you of what you already know, that there's no such thing as a wrong answer, and just the opposite is the case. The only correct answer is yours. And so I like to say this question is somewhat personal, and that's the only thing that makes it personal. In fact, it just means it's unique to you because it's going to be your answer and no one else's. And here's the thing, Jarin, it may take a few moments of thought. If it does, that's okay. I'm not paying for the airtime. We're good. If it's instant, that's good too, because it's your answer. Once again, it's all what makes you. Man, he's putting the pressure on me now. But with all that, now, are you truly ready? All right.
As ready as we'll be. Let's go.
All right. Here it is. Jarin Jackson, how do you define success?
That is an epic question. I define success by, did I live my life with integrity today? Can I go to sleep knowing that I did better today than I did yesterday? Did I laugh? Did I spend time with those that matter most to me? Did I serve someone? That's how I would define success, is did I make a difference? Am I improving? And did I do what matters to me, which is be with my family, make an impact, see people win, help people win more, do it all over again. That's how I define success.
And that is how you close out a show with a oomph. Yes. Oh, yes. That is the amazing Jarin Jackson, everyone. This has been so wonderful to reunite with you. It's been a little while. I've been curious how things are going. I know we got to catch up a little bit before the show, and so happy for you, Jarin, and just keep crushing it and be that role model that you have become. Because, we have people, Eliza was saying she's already joined your group already. She just went in and did it. Action taker. Yeah. And Tim Gillette came on and said hi. He's a personal friend of mine. He also has a live show. He's an amazing entrepreneur speaker, just amazing people. And you had a direct impact on everyone who came on. And here's the beautiful thing. This is going to be on 25 podcast platforms, 25. So your voice will live on, your legacy, and the value you brought tonight isn't just for tonight. You have a legacy that you've just created by showing up. And so for those of you out there that are not going on to either live shows or podcasts, that is a great strategy for not only growing your business, but creating a legacy, something that people can use to help them in their lives going forward. Jarin didn't make any money by appearing on the show. I didn't charge him any money. This wasn't about money. It's about sharing this young man's brilliance with you so you can crush it in life. And as a result, when you go around to saying, you know what, I need some marketing help, who would be a great guy to go to? It would be Jarin Jackson and his company that he's part of now by going to that Facebook group and starting the conversation. And you can tell it's going to be a really fun one because you just heard him all night tonight. So Jarin, I appreciate you, my man. And I just want you to become as exceedingly wealthy as possible, because I know what you will do with that wealth. You will spread it by helping more people doing what you're doing now and what you improve in as you go forward in your life. So I appreciate you for coming on tonight, buddy.
Appreciate you, Brian. This has been amazing. I love it.
Yeah, and it's been amazing because of you. You are the man that made it happen, and appreciate you. And your wife is blessed beyond belief. Your son is blessed beyond belief. They have one amazing guy in that household leading it. So keep doing what you're doing, brother. And you know what? If there's ever anything you want or need, and it could be personal, please know my door is always open to you. You have my number. I know you have my number direct. You can text me anytime you want. Okay. It's a open door policy. All right, my man, that is it. That is this show. We're going to let this guy go, this guy over here, Jarin, so he can be with his wife and son for the rest of what's left of his evening. For everyone else, we appreciate you. I can't tell you how much for coming on, spending your valuable time, learning valuable skills and valuable smart bombs of knowledge from Jarin Jackson. Until next time, we will be on again very soon. So be on the lookout. Go to themindbodybusinessshow.com and just register for the automated reminder. We're coming back again in less than a week. We're going to have a 2-show week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, on behalf of the amazing Jarin Jackson, I'm your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. We will see you again next time. Until then, be blessed, everybody. So long for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.